So so back into the area around the space station. Uh, do they want to? So Nate's fire, that's really the only fire damage that they've got. They don't have flamethrowers or anything like that. Uh, I think certainly the particle gun. Keys has the particle gun, so I think that'll be useful. So Keys and Nate both have useful things to get those creatures. But our other two do not. Or our other three, I mean. So the tank isn't going to be really be all that useful. Because we really want to hit these things at a distance. That's really what's going on. Yeah. So I'm just taking a look really quickly. Yeah, it's going to be Nate and Keys are going to be the ones to really, until we can find some additional weapons. So what do you think? Would they take a look at that ship? I think first of all they're going to compare. I you know the I they're going to ask the sensor data, or they're going to interrogate that sensor data for the space station and try and figure out if it's the same or different than the thing that they just found in that escape pod. Um, and what they find is that there are indeed quite a few. It's difficult to separate the signals if they're near each other, but there are definitely a bunch of those creatures there appear to be a couple other types of entities on board, but I think it's looking like the reason probably the reason why this space station is damaged and that ship is damaged maybe isn't because they collided, or maybe they collided, but the sort of impetus for whatever happened here were these creatures. Um, maybe they do. I think maybe they fly over to this wreck over here. Um, I think they go over there, and they do some checks. There's no atmosphere at all inside the ship, but maybe they do like an EVA and try and grab some anything that's useful, anything that's great that might be over there. Um, I think that makes sense. Should we do? I don't think there's epic over there. Let's do. Let's do a D6. It could go anywhere. Let's do a D6 and just see how many rolls on the table. And if we do a 6, we'll explode the dice and we'll do one epic plus however many other ones there are. So it's 4. So we'll do 4 warp shell. We'll do 4 warp shell things as they go out and they do an EVA and explore that. So let's do this. So no epic this time, but so this is Spike, which is an int spell. And it's Bolt of Energy. Straight line. All targets. In line. To far. Wow, that's pretty cool. Okay. And so, you know, it's like a, I don't know if it's even, you know, calling them spells or whatever, but some sort of module, instructions, some how to overload in an ammo brick. Wow, holy crap. So it has 50 ammo, any kind. Wow, that's definitely probably Gunner. Well, so the Spike is going to be Nate, and the ammo brick, and it doesn't take any slots. That's going to be Keys. So 2 more. A Duranium chain gun. Magical. 1d4 to spin up. Then 6 attacks. One turn. That's nuts. Okay, one last roll. And that's a Hagro biscuit. Heal all. Near. 1d12. So let's give that to Fish. The Duranium chain gun. Well, let's give that to Eve. And then I don't know, maybe that ammo brick should go to the chain gun. Well, we're gonna keep that with Keys. Okay, so I think that's what they find. I was kind of hoping maybe for something fire. But no luck, no joy. I mean, some joy, but not a lot. So I think after having investigated that our mecha crew is going to come in and pick one of these as they've been scanning the inner ring with the little ports, that there are four docking areas, so ships can come and get docked right there. One of them obviously being broken, but the other four not being broken. And I think that I mean, they could just fly away, right? So why would they do that? Why would they do that? Um, I think it's all just new. It's new. Why not? They feel like they can probably handle themselves to a certain extent, if they're careful. So yeah, I think they go in and they want to explore and see what can be found, and maybe there are robots, maybe there are mechas to be rescued. Um, which, as a DM, I feel silly not to have done that. Seems a shame not to have done that. Okay, well, anyhow, let's think about that. Maybe I can whip something up really quick. So I think what's happening is they are going to actually dock. They're going to get connected to the space station, dock on one of the docking areas. The arthropod legs are going to sort of latch on and kind of get connected, and our mecha crew are going to enter the space station. Okay, let's really quickly. Um, okay. So the Mecha crew, they've docked at the hub, the central area um, of the space station. The warp shell has attached itself to um, one of the things. I think, you know, I don't think the Mecha have ever seen aliens, but I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna have the warp shell not stay connected, but actually just float a little ways away, just to make sure that there's, you know, sort of air gap between the space station and the warp shell, so that nothing you know, crawls on while they're busy. Um, So I think, yeah, that's what's going to happen, is that we're gonna get our happy crew are going to come in, and they're going to be on, and then warp shell is gonna fly off. And so let's go ahead and do that. So they've been dropped off. Let's see. So Eve has the. We really got these two. We're gonna organize, I think, a little bit like this. Well, actually, why don't we're gonna have actually we're gonna go into stealth mode a little bit. Let's go ahead and send Izzy. So Izzy has a stealth unit. So let's go ahead and send Izzy off to explore this area, while everybody else sort of takes up defensive positions. So this area, the central hub, there's not a lot here. As they enter the space station, you know, it clearly has lost some air because of the damage. So there was definitely some equalization going on, a little bit less oxygen. Not that the Mecha really care that much. You know, it occurred to me that as the GM, to prepare, like, whether those creatures were affected by the vacuum of space, and I don't think I really settled that. You know, I mean, as far as like the Mecha are concerned, they could just dump all the air into space if it would suffocate these things. But I think it would affect them to a certain extent. It might just put them into stasis to be in the cold of space. But if there are other life forms that are on this space station that need help and rescue, then maybe it would be wise not to do that right off the bat. You know, so I think that was really as they analyzed the sensor data, that was kind of the decision that they came. That, you know, why don't we just dump the air and suffocate them? And, well, you know, that might work, but let's see if there's people to that we need to rescue. So around the central hub, there's 5 docking stations, ports. One of them is sealed off, and, you know, was clearly damaged from the outside. Was clearly seen to be damaged. How the damage happened, it's not clear. But the docking clamps and stuff are all ripped off. So apparently, there was maybe that's what the that one that got found floating in space was, you know, on a ship trying to escape or something like that, and which implies intelligence, which is not great. not great. And then there are five corridors that they're the connecting corridors that connect to that outer ring, and some of those outer ring areas and one of the connecting corridors was clearly damaged as well. And Izzy's able to see that there are three of the corridors leading off are closed off. So it looks like loss of pressure to those areas. Whether there's, I mean, there wouldn't be anything to rescue probably. I mean, there might be rope. I mean, there might be Mecha, deactivated in those areas. Might be worth exploring, but wait, they can do that as an EVA from the outside. And if they've survived that long, then they're probably okay to stay. So exploring the inside first makes more sense. This the center area here, these are actually these are transporter stations for transporting stuff to starships. They're actually marked to each of the. So apparently, this would be how they would transport in bulk without having to go through the corridors and stuff like that. Is to get stuff into the spaceships. Probably not ideal for organic matter, or maybe even sentient creatures at all to be sent on these transports. But I think he's going to go around and just sort of look briefly on each of these corridors, and he's got. Oh no, that was fish. That was fish that had the Illumitron. Okay. So he's just by the. He's gonna borrow the Illumitron. Might as well. So there's an Illumitron. Let's hold on a second. So we're gonna have a little bit of light. And gosh, should we have some sort of little creature? What kind of? Yeah. Okay. So there's a little drone. Let's group those together. So that's our Illumidrone. It actually casts light a lot farther than that, but so that'll be the Illumidrone. And so Nate is, not Nate. Izzy is going to explore, taking a look at each of these areas, down each of these corridors. There's really not a lot here. Aging chairs and couches, and there's some wall posters, travel posters. See the glorious, gas moon of whatever, and the vents of Thrush and whatever. I don't even know. Travel to various planets from here. And I guess the floor, there's going to be some spots on the floor that are some of that gooey substance, clearly from creatures that are like that thing that was in the escape pod. So we're definitely going to avoid those as he goes around. And I think as he gets to here, one of those creatures is gonna hear that something is happening. Oh wait, no, we're stealth. Is gonna see the light. Is gonna see the light. So there is definitely the light drone Izzy is using his stealth, so he's invisible essentially, but the light drone attracts the attention of one of these creatures. So I think that that creature is, it's not fast or anything by any means, but it's gonna see that light. So Nate is gonna take a step back and get out of the way as this creature sort of kind of swipes at this, or tries to get close to that. Let's see if yeah, and so each of these doors, each of these locked doors that we were looking at is one of these really insanely big um, one of these it's not an airlock. It's like a safety door that cuts off the area. Like on DS9, the big rolling gears that block the airlock off. So these are sealed, whereas the other ones are not. But that's kind of what's going on with those. Clearly, there's been um, some air loss behind those, and I don't think he doesn't hear any particular noise or see any signs of intelligent sentient life other than this thing that is chasing us, chasing the Illumidrone. And I'm assuming that there's some sort of remote control. It doesn't just follow Nate around, but that he actually has some sort of control. So I think that what he's going to do is he's going to send it off down this corridor. And then the creature is going to kind of follow slowly. And then he's going to come back and, in communication. I think, did we establish that they have radio communication? Like some sort of, they all have antennas. So I think that they can communicate from a distance. Well, okay, two of them have antennas on the character sheet. So on the illustration. So let's go with so Izzy and Fish can communicate from a distance when they're not in their their mind meld. So Izzy is going to communicate back to Fish what's going on with this creature, and I think that what that means is that our two distance heroes are going to come up, probably one to each side, and then the other two are going to follow up in the back ranks, making sure to check. I think everybody's on the watch to make sure, so Izzy's going to look down that corridor. I think maybe Fish will look down this corridor. Eve is a backup with the chain gun, just in case. Hi. And so, okay, so everybody's moved, and then I think, so the creature follows this orb a little bit farther, but I think what's going to happen next is that when Keys and Nate are both in position, that Izzy is going to call the drone back to here. And then, so this creature was chasing it and then is going to come back to here. So that means we've got probably Keys is first. So Keys is gonna, with his little particle gun, no, that seemed like a waste. I mean, I think they would have analyzed this and realized like just how, like, that they're not super powerful creatures. So I think he's just gonna use the Goss pistol. And I'm thinking of how to keep track of the. Well, I mean, but he's got that ammo pack with 50 ammo. He really should keep track of it though. Okay, so let's just go ahead. He's gonna do Dex. Where's my D20? There it is. So we're gonna do with Dex and do an attack on that. And that was a 17. So even without the +3, it's a mod 20. We're going to do weapons damage. And weapons damage +5. And I suppose I probably should have gone to the dice. Sorry about that. So that was a 17. And then, oh, the ruler is there. That must have been when Jin was running through. And so we did a 4 damage plus. Oh, so that's a total of 9. So we did 9 damage. And it's just a 1 heart. It's going to end up being just a 1 heart creature, but so let's go ahead and have Nate. Nate is going to go next. And Nate is going to use the fire missile. So we're going to do an intelligence. So it's +3, and then magic damage, which I imagine will probably be plenty. But it was a 3 to hit, so that did not hit. So unfortunately, that means that this creature wait, who has a gun? Master, I thought somebody had a pistol. Oh, he's got a blast pistol. Ugh. Well, so if I had thought about it, what I would have done, Nate actually has a blast pistol. And if I had thought about it, I would have given the blast pistol to one of the other, somebody else, so that, because he's going to basically just use his fire missile. So I think since that was a miss, this guy is going to realize that that light is not the thing. And he's going to try and head over here. But I think he's going to be, because, the idea was to be in place for this slow moving creature. So I think he's going to be just out of range. from physical attack. So that's the end of this guy's turn. And then that brings us back around. So who we got? We got, I think Eve is going to, I think we're going to basically do the same thing where the others are going to hang back. Actually, I think Eve will... Which one? Okay, Izzy is going to hoof it, over to Nate and pick up the pistol. So I'm going to have to try and remember blast pistol. Blast pistol, 6 ammo, and is easy. Okay, so Izzy. And then Nate, I think. Well, okay, so hold on. So that was Izzy. Eve is holding, and Izzy. So Eve is holding in place, and then Izzy, ran over, dashed over to get the pistol. Keys is right there, so I think Keys is next, and Keys is going to go ahead and shoot with. We're going to do probably... shoot with that Gauss pistol again. So let's go ahead and hit with the Gauss pistol. That's a natural 20, which is kind of a waste. But, so, it's going to be weapons damage plus... I mean, it's just going to obliterate them. That's 5 natural damage plus another 8, and then a bonus of plus 5 on weapons effort. I mean, so this thing is just absolutely obliterated, blown to bits, tiny little like flaming bits, and I think that was the part of the point. So I don't think at that point that Nate is going to have to burn the pieces. But so that solves that issue. So, hold on, sorry. So that creature was completely obliterated by Keys, and so I think that was a success. So I think the next thing to do would be to take a look. Hey kitten, come on. Come here. Come on. In my lap. Come on. Oh, come on. Stop that. Stop trying to play with the mouse. Stop trying to play with the mouse. Kitty. Okay. So that was successful. I think the next thing to do is, since we're out of combat, everybody would take just a quick look to make sure that none of these other things have things in them. So we'll definitely, explore each of these things, and there's definitely not anything there as far as these nasty creatures go, and probably not much of anything else. So the next thing to do is to decide on a direction. Going into one of the sealed compartments is probably not. Let's just pick a direction. I don't even know. Why not since we almost went that way anyway, let's go this way. We're going to have, it's Nate and keys. So keys, followed by Nate. Oh no, wait, actually Izzy. Let's do that again. But then we're gonna do let's have Eve take up the rear. So we'll send the light orb out, and then we'll set this is our marching order. As we go up to this next area.